So now I am going to start Newton's second law of motion. About the Newton's second law of motion, I have told you yesterday that it is the rate of change of momentum of a moving body. It directly proportional to the force applied on the body, and it takes place in the direction of force. It's clear. According to the Newton's second law of motion, rate of change of momentum, that is change in momentum per unit time. Delta P upon delta T is what? It is rate of change of momentum. Change of momentum. That is change in momentum per unit time. Change in momentum per unit time. Now you can see here, this we can also write like this: delta P upon delta T equals to F. Or simply we write it as F equals to delta P upon delta T. It's clear. Here in vector form you will write in this way when you are doing some calculation, so you will write this way. So F equals to delta P upon delta T. Now as we know that momentum it is denoted by the symbol P. It is equal to product of mass into velocity. It's clear. Product of mass into velocity. It is clear. Now this can change only when either there is the change in mass or there is change in velocity. So momentum depends upon mass and velocity. Now it can change because of the change in velocity, and it can also change because of the change in mass. This I explained in that previous lecture. Have you watched that video? So if you have not watched, then I made one video especially on the change in momentum. So change in momentum can take place because of the change in velocity as well as change in mass. That's why delta P is written like delta M into V. It's clear? Because this change in P is possible because of the change in velocity as well as change in mass. When a body is moving with a very great velocity, means when the velocity of the body 10 to the power 6 meter per second, say more ho, it is having velocity more than this, then there will be the change in mass also. It's clear? And in that case momentum will be changed because of the change of mass. So that's why we write delta P like this. So you can write it as F equals to delta P upon delta T. This is equals to delta of mv upon delta T. This is the mathematical form of Newton's second law of motion. It's clear? Mathematical form of Newton's second law of motion. And when you will write in vector form, you can put the arrow here. It's clear? Mathematical form of Newton's second law of motion. Form of Newton's second law. Now you can see here, we will take one special case when the mass of the body remain constant. When the mass of body remain constant. When mass of body remain constant. And in under which condition mass of body will remain constant? When the velocity of the body is less than 10 to the power 6 meter per second. Velocity of body is less than 10 to the power 6 meter per second. Then the mass of body will be constant. And in that case, you can write delta P equals to delta of mv. Now, since m is constant, so you can write m into delta v. It's clear? M into delta V. Therefore, what will be F? It is delta P upon delta T. In place of delta P, you can write M into delta V. So, M into delta V upon delta T. What is delta V upon delta T? Who can tell? Delta V upon delta T.
Acceleration.
It is acceleration. Delta P upon delta T is acceleration. It is clear? This is A. Acceleration of moving of body, which is represented by the symbol E. So this will become F equals to M into E. So this is also mathematical form. Of Newton's second law. But this is under the condition when mass remains constant. Mass remains constant. It is clear? And in classical physics means where we discuss the motion of the body whose velocity is less than 10 to the power 6 meter per second. It's clear? In classical physics, we largely deal with this relation. this relation. हमको इस relation का use क्या होगा? कम होगा. In the classical physics, presently we will use this relation less. F equals to delta of delta mv upon delta t, that we will use less. Largely we will use this. It's clear? This F equals to m into a, because we are studying presently classical physics. It is clear? So this is called the quantitative definition of the force. And why we call it as quantitative definition of force? Because with the help of this, we can calculate the magnitude of force. Is clear? Now see here about the unit of force, you know, so no need to tell. Is there any need to explain about the unit of force? SI unit of force is? Who can tell?
Newton.
Unit is Newton. What is CGS unit?
Dyne.
What is the relation between Newton and dyne? 1 Newton equals to 10 to the power
7 dyne.
5 dyne. Every time you tell 10 to the power 7. Last time also you told 10 to the power 7. 1 Newton equals to, you can say here, see here, 1 Newton equals to 1 kilogram into 1 meter per second square. 1 kilogram you can write 1000 grams. 1 meter per second square you can write 100 centimeter per second square. So this will be 10 to the power 5 gram centimeter per second square. That is 10 to the power 5 dyne. It's clear? 1 Newton equals to 10 to the power 5 dyne. So these things you know. Then there are some gravitational units of force. Gravitational units of force are kilogram force and gram force. These are called the absolute units. One day I have told that what is the difference between the absolute units and gravitational unit. It's clear? 1 kilogram force equals to G Newton and 1 gram force equals to G dyne. This is in MKS system, that is in SI unit, and this is in CGS unit. What is the value of approximate value of gene SI unit? 9.8 meter per second square. In CGS unit, it is how much? It is 980 centimeter per second square. So all these things are very simple. Many times you have studied in class 9th and 10th, so I am not going for this. Now see the Newton's third law. What is the Newton's third law? So you can see here. Newton's third law. So this is very simple. To every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. To every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. Yes. Now see here, if two bodies are colliding, suppose two bodies are colliding, this is the body 1 and this is body 2. It's clear. When they will collide, what will happen? One will exert the force on 2 and 2 will exert the force on 1. What will be the direction of the force which one exerts over 2? So the force which one exerts over 2, it is F21. It's clear? Force on 2 by 1. Force on body 2 by body 1. And it will exert, 2 will exert force on this. F12. Force on 1 by 2. Now what will be the relation between these two forces? What can you say about their magnitude? What can you say about the magnitude? So you will find, you can see here, their magnitude will be same. F12 equals to F21. Or we can write in this form, modulus of vector F12 equals to modulus of vector F21. Modulus means magnitude. Modulus means magnitude. And how can you verify this? So see here, suppose this is a wall and you hit this wall by your hand, once softly and then very hardly. एक बार हम वॉल को क्या करेंगे, अपने हाथ से सॉफ्टली हिट करेंगे और दूसरी बार क्या करेंगे, हार्डली हिट करेंगे. मींस सी हियर, सपोज दिस इज द वॉल एंड आई एम हिटिंग दिस वे. आर यू सीइंग? This way you hit. It's clear? Once you hit softly and then you hit hardly. So you will find that when you are hitting it hardly, then you get the hurt. You get the hurt. You will get the injury. While when you are hitting it softly, by applying less force, you will not get any injury. It is clear? So see here, when you are applying a larger force here, when you are hitting it hardly, you are applying a greater force here. And since you are applying greater force, then wall is also exerting greater force, same force on your hand. Wall is also exerting same force on your hand. And because of that force, you get the hurt. It is clear? This point is clear? Means both forces will be equal in magnitude. But what will you say about their direction? Direction is opposite. Direction is opposite. That's why it is written as vector F12 equals to negative of vector F21. So what is the Newton's law of action and reaction? To every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Now tell me, which force will act earlier? Which force will act earlier? Who can answer? कौन सा फोर्स पहले एक्ट करेगा? Whether this force will act earlier or this force will act earlier? Who can tell?
Both forces will act simultaneously.
Both the forces will act simultaneously. It's clear? Both the forces will be exerted by different bodies, and both the forces are exerting on different bodies. There are three things you can see here. Both forces of action and reaction act simultaneously. Exerted by different bodies and exerting on different bodies. Exerted by different bodies and exerting on different bodies. It is clear? Both the forces will act on different bodies and will be exerted by exerting on different bodies and exerted by different bodies. It is clear? This point is clear? So,
Yes, sir.
this is the law of action and reaction. These are the salient features of action and reaction. Salient features of law of action and reaction. Law of action and reaction. What is law of action and reaction? To every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. To every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. It is clear? Means here when two bodies will collide, then two forces will act. One, and these two forces will be exerted by different bodies, will be colliding bodies on one another. They will be equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. So in vector form we can write this way. It's clear? Now what will be the net force on any body? What will be the net force?
Sir, 0.
On any body? Why it will be 0?
Sir, because
Why?
there is an equal force.
Because net force on any body, so it will not be 0. Net force on any body will not be 0, because these forces are exerting on different bodies. ये किस पर एक्ट हो रहा? 1 पर. ये किस पर एक्ट हो रहा? 2 पर. आए समझे? ये चीज जरूर 0 है. If you bring it in this side, it will become 0. It is clear? This thing is 0. But it does not mean that the net force on any body is 0, because these forces are acting on different bodies. These forces are acting on different bodies. It is clear? This point is clear or not? Now you tell me.
Yes, sir.
This point is clear?
Yes, sir.
Now see here. After this, I am going to tell you inertial and non-inertial frame. What is the meaning of inertial and non-inertial frame? One more thing. From law of action and reaction, one thing is deduced, that forces always exist in pair. Forces always exist in pair. Because whenever you will apply force on any body, what will happen? Its reactionary force will be developed at the same moment. Its reactionary force will be developed at the same moment. Therefore, forces always exist in pair. It is clear? Forces always exist in pair. So now see here. After this, inertial and non-inertial frame. Frame and non-inertial frame. Now first you know what is the frame of reference. Frame of reference. What is frame of reference? What do you mean by frame of reference? Who can tell about the frame of reference? Can you tell what is the frame of reference? It is that coordinate system with respect to which any event is described. It is that coordinate system with respect to which an event is described. That is called the frame of reference. In order to describe the position of body, in order to describe the velocity, acceleration, we will choose a coordinate system and we will select the origin of that. So that frame is known as, that coordinate system is called the frame of reference. Now see here, what do you mean by inertial frame? Inertial frame is one. This point is new, so you pay the attention. Inertial frame, in which Newton's second law of motion what is inertial frame in which Newton's second law of motion is obeyed. It's clear. Now what is Newton's second law of motion? Because now afterwards we will see that the second law is including to the first law as well as to the third law. Second law is including to the first law as well as to the third law. So if second law is obeyed, then it means all the laws of Newton's are applicable. So what is the meaning of obeying of Newton's second law? What is the meaning of obeying of Newton's second law? So you can see here, if F equals to 0 implies A equals to 0, or if F is not equal to 0 implies A is not equal to 0. मतलब फोर्स 0 हो तो एक्सीलरेशन भी 0 हो, फोर्स 0 नहीं है तो एक्सीलरेशन भी क्या है, 0 नहीं है. Then it means it is obeyed. Then it means Newton's laws are obeyed. If the condition is this, that whenever the force is 0, acceleration is also 0. Whenever the force is not 0, acceleration is not 0. Then we say that the Newton's law is applicable. But suppose if the situation is like this, here if it is like this, if force is not 0 implies acceleration 0. Force is not 0 but the acceleration is 0. मतलब फोर्स की वैल्यू 0 नहीं है, बट एक्सीलरेशन क्या है, 0 है। तो बताओ क्या है, ओबे होगा? You can see here, you can verify. Suppose F equals to 10 Newton, but acceleration equals to 0. You substitute here, here it will be 10 m into 0. Whether it is correct? क्या ये चीज करेक्ट होगी?
No, sir.
No, sir.
ये हो ही नहीं सकती करेक्ट। आया समझे? Now see here, similarly, if F is 0, but acceleration is not 0. As we know that mass cannot be 0. Mass can never be 0. Mass 0 हो ही नहीं सकता, क्योंकि मास अगर 0 हो गया मतलब क्या हो गया, बॉडी रह ही नहीं गई। इट्स क्लियर? अगर मास 0 हो गया मतलब क्या हो गया, बॉडी है ही नहीं। दिस थिंग इज क्लियर? So if F equals to 0 and A is not equal to 0, you can see here F is 0 but M is suppose 5. So whether it is possible, so it is not possible. It cannot be possible. It cannot be possible. Okay? Therefore, this is the condition that Newton's second law is not obeyed. Under this condition, Newton's second law is not obeyed. Newton's law, second law, is not obeyed. Here, second law is not obeyed. This is clear? Now see here. Now I will show one example in which you will find this thing, and in the same example you will find this also. When your frame of reference, when your frame will be changed, you will observe once this and then this. You can see here. See here. Now let me revise this. What is the inertial frame? It is that frame in which the Newton's second law of motion is valid. Validity of Newton's second law of motion, obeying the Newton's second law of motion means this should be. If F equals to 0, then A should be 0. If F is not 0, then A is not equal to 0. Then it means the Newton's second law of motion is valid. Newton's second law of motion is obeyed. But if it is like this, then it means Newton's second law of motion is not valid there. Newton's second law of motion is not applying there. It's clear? Now see here. Here I am giving one example. Suppose this is an elevator whose walls are made up of glass. मतलब ये एलिवेटर क्या है, ये पूरा ग्लास का बना हुआ है। As you have seen in the Saharaganj, have you seen in Saharaganj elevator is made up of glass. In one side there is glass. Now suppose here some lamp is hanging. Here this is the lamp is hanging and there are two observers. This is the observer 1 and this is the observer 2. It's clear? These are the two observers, observer first, observer second. One is inside the elevator and other is outside the elevator. And both the observers are good in physics. Both are good in physics. Now see here. Here elevator is supported by some that string. And by that string, what happens? It comes down. Suppose this string breaks, then what will happen? What will happen? It will fall with acceleration due to gravity. It will fall with acceleration due to gravity. This thing is clear or not? But when it is supported by the string, then it comes down with a constant velocity. It comes down with a constant velocity. It's clear? Suppose at any instant this string breaks. मतलब ये string यहाँ पर break हो जाती है, metallic rope क्या हो जाती है, break हो जाती है. So see here what will be noticed by this observer. ये ऑब्जर्वर क्या नोटिस करेगा लैंप के बारे में. So see here, since both the observers are good in physics, so they know that on the lamp two forces are acting. On the lamp two forces are acting. One is its weight. One is its weight. Weight of lamp. And other is the tension in this string by which it is hanging. Tension in such string means here this tension T, that you can denote by T. Both here these two forces are acting on the lamp. One is the weight acting vertically downward, other is the tension. What will be observed by this observer about the motion of the lamp? Who can tell? When you are sitting inside a train, when you are sitting inside a train, then what will you conclude about the other passenger who is sitting in front of you?
The
What
lamp
will
will
you
be at
They
rest.
are rest at with respect to the passenger.
Lamp will be at rest. Lamp will be at rest. What will be observed by one? Lamp will be at rest. It is at rest means what will be A? What will be the acceleration of this? जब with respect to one lamp rest पर है तो ये क्या conclude करेगा about its acceleration? That acceleration is zero because it is at rest. Therefore, acceleration will be zero. Acceleration is zero means the net force will be zero. Net force will be zero means W और T क्या होंगे? बराबर होंगे. W and T both will be equal. Both will be equal. Now this observer has applied the Newton's second law very correctly without making any mistake. He had observed that lamp is at rest. Since the lamp is at rest, therefore its acceleration will be zero. Acceleration is zero, therefore net force will be zero. Net force will be zero means only two forces are acting, weight and tension. So W will be equal to T. Is there any mistake in applying the Newton's second law here? Is there any mistake in applying Newton's second law here?
No, sir.
No. Now you see about observer 2. When this metallic rope is broken, what will be noticed by the observer 2? He will find that this cabin is falling with this acceleration. This cabin is falling with this acceleration. So observer 2 finds when metallic rope broke. Metallic rope. It's clear. He finds, observer 2 finds that lamp is falling with acceleration due to gravity. Lamp is falling with acceleration due to gravity. Means its acceleration is not zero. He had made the observation outside the cabin. He had made the observation outside the cabin. So he deduces that acceleration is not zero. Acceleration is not zero means net force will not be zero. and net force is not zero, so only two forces are acting, means W will not be equal to T. So is there any mistake in applying the Newton's second law by this observer? So there is no mistake. He has applied he has noticed that lamp is falling with acceleration due to gravity when this metallic rope breaks. When it breaks, lamp is falling with acceleration due to gravity. Therefore, acceleration is not zero, means the value of force is not zero, means W is not equal to T. So about the same event, two contradictory results have been deduced. About the same event, two contradictory results have been deduced. What is the reason behind this?
The frame of
tell?
reference is
The
different.
inertial frames are different for both the observers.
Their frames are different. So about this you will think and tomorrow I will ask. It's clear? So you will answer about this tomorrow. So now I'm ending.